If New Year's resolutions make you cringe and you're ending this year with that familiar feeling of being behind, like no matter how much you fucking gave this year, it is never enough. I want to pause you right there. Before you turn that feeling into another way to push yourself, let's slow down and actually listen to what this year did to you. Because I see this with trauma therapists every time it's a new year. By the time it's December, you're exhausted, you're done, you're carrying more than you realize, and so quickly telling yourself some version of, I should have done this better, right? Oh, hold on. Before I get too much into my rant, if you're new here, I'm Jenny Hughes, a trauma psychologist and founder of the Brave Trauma Therapist Collective, which is an online community for trauma therapists that helps you make sure that you have something left in your tank at the end of the day and end of the year. Now, I care so much about how trauma therapists end a year because the way that we're usually taught to reflect, it ends up turning into another round of self judgment. On that note, tell me right here in the comments, how do you feel about the whole practice of New Year's resolutions? They've never been my thing, but I want to hear, do you hate them? Do you try and then feel bad a few weeks later because you didn't do it, you failed? Or do you tolerate them even though they kind of stress you out? Let's see where we all land here in the comments. And since you know I loathe New Year's resolutions, I'm going to let you in on my approach to ending out a year and getting ready for a new one because it's going to happen whether we like it or not, right? So, over the past several years, instead of resolutions, I've been doing the word of the year practice. Now, this is something that I hadn't done previously. I just started a few years ago. I really like that it gives me some kind of a guide. It's not that I'm setting a goal or making rules for myself, but it does get to serve as a flexible intention, something that helps me orient how I want to move through the year and return to that intention, especially when things get hard or messy. My word for 2025 was believe, and I have it taped right here on my monitor so that I can literally see it every single day. And this practice, this word of the year practice, has become a really special time for us in the Brave Trauma Therapist Collective because we intentionally come together in January to reflect and to notice the words that are naturally guiding us for the year to come. And this is why I'm making this and next week's video for you to give you a little taste of this practice, okay? Also, spoiler alert, you can join us for this workshop in Brave and experience the process for yourself. Our members in both the free and the paid tiers get access to this. It's happening on January 9th. So go to braveproviders.com/brave to get all signed up for us, okay? Now, remember, this video right here is about how to prepare for the process of picking your word for 2026 in a way that doesn't rush you, doesn't bypass your body, and doesn't turn reflection into a performance review of yourself as a therapist. And I'm purposely making this a two-part series because if you skip this preparation part, whatever intention you set, it's going to come from pressure from all the I'm not good enough stuff. And pressure and not good enough is not a great starting place for the new year, right? So, we do want to start by looking back at 2025, not to do a 360 eval of the year, as much as I bet your brain already started to go there when I said, let's look back on 2025. So, notice if you're already, as your brain naturally started that process, notice whether it's trying to decide whether 2025 was good or bad, and perhaps just give yourself a little permission to reframe that natural evaluation tendency as the ability to notice patterns. Your brain is so good at that, right? And it is in these evaluative words and statements that come up that it starts to unravel and be unhelpful for us. So let your brain reflect, okay? And you can take notes here if you want, or just be with your brain and body as it's doing it. And as you think back on 2025, ask yourself, What themes kept showing up for me this year? Okay. Not just in my work, but in my energy, my mood, my capacity. Next, where did I feel stretched thin? And I don't mean busy. I mean, what happened this year that made you really feel it in your body? The moments of being tired that stuck around, that dragged behind you. Okay. And then, because this often gets skipped, ask yourself, where did I feel even a little bit more steady than I expected? It might have been brief. It probably didn't last forever because nothing does, but give yourself permission to notice that it happened. And as you sit with these questions, check in with your body. What do you notice right now? Is there tension or heaviness? Maybe there's some relief or you're feeling really connected with it somewhere. We're not trying to change any of that right now, but just noticing, okay? Just paying attention. This reflection process is so important because trauma therapists are so good at pushing past impact, even as we sit with our clients to slow them down. If you don't slow down here, your word of the year or any intention is just going to be a reaction to exhaustion or guilt. Okay. And then the word turns into yet another standard that you judge yourself against. And that is not what we are going for here. So, one more check in, take a breath. Now that we've done some reflecting on 2025, and this is not a complete process. Go back and keep thinking about this over the next week to see what else is revealed for you. Let's start turning toward the year ahead. Not to plan it or to decide anything, okay? But as you think about 2026, notice this. What do you want more of? Not what you think you should want, what you actually want. Maybe it's more space, feeling more grounded, feeling more creative, or more supported. Okay. And instead of answering that from your head, notice what happens in your body when you imagine having more of it. Does anything feel lighter? Are there other words that are coming up or images that are dancing through your mind? If nothing comes up clearly, that's okay. That's going to happen, right? We literally just started this process and you're watching a YouTube video. So give yourself some credit. And you've been in survival mode for a long time. So your system needs time to loosen, to relax before it can really be aware of and take in any inspiration that's coming up for you. And on that note, I want to say this super clear. I'm not going to mince words. You do not need to land on anything today. That is not the purpose of this video. You don't need to be super clear. You don't need to be super inspired. You do not need a word. This right now is just about listening, checking in, seeing if you can hear anything from your brain and body. And not just right now, but over the next few days and weeks. And I say this because so many of us confuse reflection and slowing down with failure. Again, we sit with our clients in this all the time, but it's so hard to allow it to apply to ourselves, right? We get into this place of, I'm still thinking about things, so it must mean I didn't do enough. That's not how this works. Not this process of word of the year and intention setting. Because reflection is how your system catches up to all the hustle and bustle of our lives. So come back. If you were taking any notes, just notice them. They may have been written or maybe just in your mind. And become aware of anything that's come up right now. Again, just to have it there. Not because you're making plans or decisions yet, because in next week's video, I will walk you through that actual process of choosing my word of the year. Okay. I'm going to teach you how I narrow things down and how I hold it lightly once it's chosen because it still gets to be a living and dynamic thing. And remember, inside the Brave Trauma Therapist Collective, we do this all together in a live Word of the Year workshop during that first full week of January. So this year it's on Friday, January 9th. Come and join us, okay? The link is down below in the description. And before you take off, just be with yourself. Take a moment to check in with your body again. You don't have to take a single damn thing from this video, except the permission to slow down at the end of a long year. And maybe share a bit more love in the comments and let us know if we'll see you on January 9th in Brave for our Word of the Year workshop. It's free to everyone, so come on over. Again, the link is right below in the video description.